My name is Kofi, and like many young Ghanaians, I carry the weight of unspoken dreams and daily struggles. My story is one you might know well, a familiar tune played out in countless homes and bustling streets across Accra. It's a story of ambition meeting reality, of hope battling hardship. Every morning in Nima, Accra, life awakens with a vibrant energy, a symphony of sounds and smells that define my existence. I wake to the call to prayer, a melodic reminder of faith and community echoing through the narrow alleyways, the cries of babies, a chorus of new life and innocent needs fill the air, a constant reminder of the future we're all striving to build, and the shouts of trotro drivers, those conductors of chaos, beckoning passengers with their rapid-fire calls of destinations, a uniquely Accra sound. It's my daily symphony of survival, a chaotic yet comforting blend of the familiar and the urgent. It's the sound of Accra waking up, of Ghana pushing forward. My first act, like many others, is checking my mobile money balance, a quick glance at the digital ledger that dictates the possibilities of the day, GHS 750. Barely enough for transport and maybe a ball of kenki, that staple food that fuels so many of us through the day. It's a constant calculation, a careful balancing act. I once dreamed of a nice apartment and a car after university, the typical aspirations fueled by graduation speeches and family expectations, but reality is a tiny room, shared with two others, where dreams are often squeezed into the corners. And a daily battle with my bank account, a relentless tug-of-war between income and expenses leaving me constantly on edge. A cold bucket bath jolts me awake, the harsh reality of limited resources but also a refreshing start to a sweltering day. My one good shirt is still damp from last night's hand wash, a testament to resourcefulness and the constant effort to maintain appearances. The aroma of fresh bread is a sweet torture I can't afford, a daily reminder of the small luxuries that remain out of reach. My landlord waits by the gate, eyes asking for overdue rent, a silent but persistent pressure that hangs over me. I slip past, avoiding the inevitable conversation and the shame of not being able to pay on time. Joining the river of people hustling for a spot in a crowded trotro, the lifeline of Accra's workforce, each person vying for a space to reach their destination. My friends who skipped university are already selling on the street, hawking goods, their voices adding to the cacophony of the city. Sometimes I wonder if they're better off, if the immediate income outweighs the long-term prospects of education. But I remind myself, education is my only way out, the key to unlocking a better future, a chance to break free from this cycle. With that hope, I step into another day of being broke in Accra, armed with determination and the unwavering belief that things will eventually get better. I work as an administrative assistant, the backbone of a small but bustling office. I handle everything from answering phones and scheduling meetings to managing documents and coordinating travel arrangements. It's a job that keeps me on my toes, constantly juggling multiple tasks and deadlines. At a small import-export company in Osu, it's a vibrant part of Accra, full of life and energy, but also a place where the cost of living seems to climb higher every day. The company itself is relatively new, still finding its footing in the competitive world of international trade. My mother brags about my big office job. She tells all her friends at church and in the market about her son working in a professional environment. She envisions me in a high-powered position climbing the corporate ladder. But the reality is a cramped room with a wobbly fan, shared with 3 other colleagues. The air conditioning is perpetually broken, and the only window looks out onto a dusty alleyway. It's far from the glamorous image my mother has in her head, and a salary that vanishes before month's end. It's a constant struggle to make ends meet, a balancing act that requires careful planning and sacrifices. GHS 800 a month sounds good, especially to those who are unemployed or working in the informal sector, until transport and lunch eat half of it. The daily commute alone can cost a significant portion of my earnings, and a decent lunch is becoming a luxury I can barely afford. My boss, Mr. Ajay, sips imported coffee, brewed in a fancy machine that probably costs more than my monthly rent, and shows off his iPhone, the latest model with all the bells and whistles. He's always talking about the newest apps and features, things that are completely out of my reach, while I stretch a single sachet of Lipton tea, reusing it for days until it's practically water. It's a small thing, but it's a constant reminder of the difference in our circumstances. The gap between us is as wide as the Atlantic. It feels like we're living in 2 different worlds, even though we occupy the same office space. Trotro fares keep rising, fueled by the ever-increasing price of petrol. Each increase chips away at my already meager budget, and every day is a mental calculation, a constant juggling of numbers in my head. Can I afford lunch, transport, and tomorrow's breakfast? It's a question that haunts me from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to sleep. I often pretend to fast, telling my colleagues I'm trying to lose weight or that I'm simply not hungry, to hide that I can't afford to eat with my colleagues. The shame of not being able to participate in their lunchtime camaraderie is a heavy burden to bear. By closing time, I'm exhausted, both physically and mentally drained. Not from work, but from the stress of survival, the constant worry about money, the endless calculations, the feeling of being trapped in a cycle of poverty. It all takes its toll. The journey home is a battle, a daily struggle for space and comfort. Packed trotros, suffocating heat, the smell of sweat and exhaust fumes filling the air, and the sight of luxury cars I can only dream of. They glide effortlessly through the traffic, symbols of a life I can barely imagine. I wonder what it's like to live on the other side of that glass, to not have to worry about every CD, to be able to afford the basic necessities without sacrificing everything else. For now, that life is just a dream, a distant possibility that seems almost unattainable. But I keep showing up, hoping for a break, believing that one day things will get better. That hope is all I have, the fuel that keeps me going, the light that guides me through the darkness. In Ghana, you're never just yourself. You carry your family's hopes. As the first university graduate, I'm expected to provide even when I'm barely surviving. My mother calls proud, never knowing her graduate son sometimes goes to bed hungry. The GHS 200 I send her each month is a sacrifice that leaves me with almost nothing. Family WhatsApp groups buzz with requests for help. My name is always mentioned. Saying no isn't an option. It would bring shame. I borrow from friends just to meet expectations. This culture of support is beautiful, but for young people starting out, it can be crushing. It's like trying to fill a basket with water. Never enough. Social media adds pressure. Friends flaunt lifestyles I can't afford. I make excuses to avoid going out, hiding my reality behind "I'm busy with work." The weight of expectation is heavy, but it's also what keeps me going. I dream of the day I can help my family without feeling the strain. Under my bed, nestled amongst the dust bunnies and forgotten treasures of childhood, lies something far more valuable than anything money can immediately buy. It is a small, unassuming wooden susu box, my bank of hopes, my personal vault of aspirations. It's more than just a container, it's a symbol of my future. Every day, without fail, I drop in whatever I can spare. It might be the last few coins from a day's labor, or a small gift from a relative. A coin, gleaming faintly in the dim light, or a crumpled note, worn soft from being passed from hand to hand, each crease telling a story of its own. My grandmother, a woman of immense wisdom and quiet strength, taught me a valuable lesson. A little drop of water, she'd say, her voice like the gentle lapping of ocean waves, makes a mighty ocean. The susu box, therefore, is more than just a savings tool. It is my plan, carefully constructed and diligently followed. It's my plan to start a graphic design agency, a place where I can bring my creative visions to life and help others do the same. These are skills I painstakingly learned from countless hours spent on YouTube, all on a borrowed laptop shared amongst friends and neighbors. It's more than just money accumulating inside. It represents something far more profound. It's discipline, the unwavering commitment to a goal. It's patience, the understanding that great things take time to build. And it's a daily act of rebellion, a quiet but powerful defiance against the limitations that poverty tries to impose. Some days the gnawing pangs of hunger tempt me, whispering insidious suggestions in my ear. They urge me to break it open, to sacrifice the future for a fleeting moment of comfort. But my dream, the vision of what I can achieve, speaks louder, resonating with a strength that drowns out the temptation. I resist the urge, clenching my fists and steeling my resolve. I know that short-term relief, while appealing, ultimately means long-term regret, a setback on the path to my goals. The plan, meticulously mapped out in my mind, is to open it at year's end when the Harmattan winds begin to blow. I am hoping, with every fiber of my being, that there will be enough to buy a reliable second-hand laptop, and crucially to register my business, making it official and taking the first real step towards independence. The box is my silent partner, my confidant, and my unwavering supporter. It sits patiently, diligently collecting my hopes and dreams, one coin at a time, transforming small change into big possibilities. In a life that often feels overwhelming, a life full of uncertainty and unexpected challenges, it's my one constant, a steady anchor in a turbulent sea. Each coin, no matter how small its value, is a promise to myself, a tangible representation of my commitment. It's a promise that I will work hard, that I will persevere, and that I will build a better tomorrow, not just for myself, but for my community. The dream itself is simple, perhaps even ordinary in its essence, but it's mine, born from my own aspirations and nurtured by my own hard work. And that sense of ownership, that unwavering belief in my own potential is what keeps me going, one coin, one day, one step at a time. My salary wasn't enough, so I started a side hustle, selling cocoa and coups before work. I woke at 3 a.m., turned my room into a mini factory, and sold out most mornings. For a while I felt like a true entrepreneur making an extra 30 to 40 CDs daily. But costs rose, millet, sugar, everything. Waking up early left me exhausted at my main job. My boss noticed. The double life became unsustainable. One rainy morning no one came to buy. I lost all my investment for the day. Defeated, I realized side hustles aren't magic. They demand as much grit as any job. I put my Coco King dreams on hold, but I learned valuable lessons about business and my own limits. Failure stings, but it teaches. I'm still hustling, still dreaming. The journey continues, even after setbacks. Every lesson is a step forward. Being young should be about fun, but when you're broke, your social life suffers. Friends invite me out. Bloom bar, movies, pizza. But I can't afford it. I make excuses. I have to work late. My mother's unwell. I have a headache. The truth? A night out could cost a quarter of my salary. I scroll through their Instagram stories, watching from the sidelines. Sometimes friends offer to pay, but it feels like charity, and I hate the unspoken debt. I decline, growing more distant from my circle. Dating is even harder. How do you ask someone out when you can't afford a drink? I once let a good connection slip away, too ashamed to admit I was broke. Poverty steals more than money. It steals confidence and connection, but I keep hoping for better days. Just as I was drowning in struggle, an unexpected call changed everything. A tech company's HR manager found my online portfolio, projects I'd made for fun, never expecting anyone to notice. She invited me for a junior graphic designer interview. For the first time in months, I felt hope. I borrowed a friend's laptop to prepare, ironed my best shirt, and used some Susu money to print my portfolio. The interview was set for the following week. That week, I was nervous, but motivated. A new beginning felt possible. I didn't notice the usual exhaustion on my Trotro ride home. For once, my mind buzzed with possibilities, not worries. I prepared relentlessly, determined to seize this chance. The call was a small seed of hope, enough to light up my world. I was ready to change my story. Sometimes all it takes is one call. The interview day was a blur of nerves and excitement. The company's office was sleek and intimidating, but I remembered my late nights learning design. I gave the interview and design test my all, then waited. 2 weeks of silence. Just as hope faded, the HR manager called. I got the job. The salary was over 3 times my old pay. Tears of relief and gratitude welled up. I'd made it. Handing in my resignation to Mr. Ajay was a proud moment. My breakthrough wasn't luck, it was hard work, secret hustle, and courage to answer an unknown call. My new chapter began, not perfect, but finally bright. I could see a future where I thrived, not just survived. The struggle had been worth it. No balance was no longer my reality. I was ready for what came next. My journey taught me more than money management. It taught me resilience. Failure, like my Coco King hustle, wasn't the end. It was a lesson. The Ghanaian spirit is to endure, to rise one more time than we fall. My Susu box dream anchored me, reminding me to focus on long-term goals over short-term relief. Every young Ghanaian should have a dream bigger than their circumstances. Keep learning, even if no one's paying you yet. Your hidden talent could unlock your future. Don't wait for someone to train you. Use what's available and build your value. I'm grateful for the struggle. It made me stronger and more disciplined. The pressure from family pushed me to want more. The no balance blues taught me humility. There are thousands of Kofis hustling every day. Don't lose hope. Keep learning, saving, and dreaming. Your breakthrough is coming. Just be ready when the call comes.